Good afternoon and welcome to the Labor and Technology Committee. It's 3 o'clock and it's Monday, March 13th. We are in conference room 224. I'm Sharon Moriwaki, the chair of this committee, and with me I thought, where did he go? Okay, I'm alone here, but they will come soon. Vice Chair Chris Lee was here, we'll be back. Before proceeding with the hearing, I'd like to make a few housekeeping announcements. The hearing is being streamed live on YouTube. You can find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. In the unlikely event that we encounter major technical difficulties during the hearing, you must end it abruptly. We will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Wednesday, March 15th at 3 o'clock p.m. in this conference room 224. If there are technical glitches during your turn to testify, we may have to move on to the next person, but written testimony is available on the legislature's website. The time slot for this hearing is 90 minutes. To accommodate everybody, we will be limiting testimony to 2 minutes each. So we will move on to the first bill, HB 38, House Draft 1, relating to non-general funds, reclassifies the Human Resources Development Special Fund as a revolving fund based on the auditor's recommendation in its report. First up is the DHRD Director, Brenna Hashimoto.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. We stand on our written testimony in support of this measure to reclassify a special fund to a revolving fund. And I just wanted to point out, we did provide a comment that we also need an adjustment to the operating budget to change the special fund ceiling to revolving fund ceiling so that those funds can be expended. Adjust the ceiling. Yes.
Thank you. Next we have Tom Yamachika on Zoom. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation of Hawaii. We have submitted written testimony. We'll stand on that, be available for questions.
Thank you. Any questions, members? We have joining us Senator Keith Agaran. Okay, moving on to HB 161, House Draft 1, relating to collective bargaining, establishing the labor representative on the Hawaii Labor Relations Board be a person selected by a majority of the exclusive representatives. We have Kamakana Kaimoloa, UPW. Aloha.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Kamakana Kaimoloa, UPW Government Affairs Manager. You have a written testimony. We stand in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Christian Fern with UPA.
Good morning, Chair, or afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, member of the committee. Sarah Beamer for Christian Fern at UHPA. We stand on a written testimony.
Thank you. Laverne Moore, HSTA.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, member of the committee. Laverne Moore speaking on behalf of Osotui Jr., President of the Hawaii State Teachers Association. The Hawaii State Teachers Association supports House Bill 161 HD1, and we stand on our written testimony, and we want to ensure that labor is represented as they should be in the HLRB. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we have Randy Pereira, a representative.
Chair, Vice Chair. Steve Tevis here for HGA. For Mr. Pereira, we stand on our testimony and support. Thank you for considering the bill.
Okay, we have anyone else here in person? Okay, we have written testimony from Robert Cavaco with SHOPO in support, Robert Lee with Hawaii Firefighters in support, and Jennifer Kramer, an individual in opposition. Anyone else in Zoom? Okay, I do have a question from Mr. Tevis, HGA. It seems, other than an individual, that you have support from all the other exclusive representatives to select the majority based on majority vote. And you also have language in there that should the governor fail to send down the name, that it would go straight to the Senate. And I have concerns there. If in fact the governor accepts the recommendation of the majority of the exclusive representatives, and that name goes to the governor, that name comes to the Senate. So can we exclude the language that follows there, that should he fail to submit the name, that it would come directly to the Senate? I have concerns with that.
Sure. I think we discussed with Ms. Hashimoto, what if we put a period on page 2, line 9 after consent?
Okay.
So
Let me just take a real quick look at that.
I think this addresses your concern, Chair.
Yeah.
The governor shall transmit the name of the person nominated to serve as the representative of labor to the Senate for advice and consent, period.
Okay.
Line 9, we put a period after consent, and then I think your concern is take out the rest of it.
Correct.
Okay.
That would be great. I do have one more question of the others as well, because maybe some of the others. So if we have a vote for each of the unions, HGA will have a number of votes. But is that going to cause a problem where you folks can all agree that the number of votes is the number of bargaining units? Do you understand? If you're fine with it, we're fine with it.
Yeah. Generally, from time to time, the exclusive bargaining representatives will have disagreements, but generally in these instances,
So
we are on board.
Okay. All right.
Follow up. So the number of votes depends on the number of particular units that are represented then.
Mm-hmm.
So if we approve the 2 additional units that are requested this year, you'll get 2 more votes. That's what's happening?
Yeah, if
approved.
If approved, but I'm not sure it comes down to necessarily 1 per 1. I think it's just sort of we come to some sort of agreement. At least that's been the practice in the past.
You should say by consensus then, instead of majority vote.
I mean, we have similar.
The statute is written, it says majority votes. So
Yeah.
are you going to go by consensus, or are you?
I believe it's generally consensus.
But it says majority vote. You want to do consensus or majority vote?
I don't have a problem with majority vote, or we don't.
You want majority. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. Thank you. Any question? Any other question? Okay. And next is HB 564, HD1, relating to Department of Human Resources Development. Appropriates funding to the department to establish 2 full-time information technology specialists and upgrade their outdated information technology systems and equipment, and conduct training of personnel. HRD director or deputy director? Who's coming up? In support?
Yes. We'll stand on our written testimony in support of this measure to provide full-time staff for our information technology specialists. We just have 1 position right now to service the entire department.
And this is upgrading your equipment and everything?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify? Okay, so moving along then to, any questions, members? Okay, HB 1205, House Draft 1 relating to collective bargaining. This specifies the exclusive representatives of public employees are not required to provide grievance representation to unit members who do not pay dues or dues equivalents and who decline to pay reasonable costs of representation. We have in person Christian Fern in support.
Good afternoon, Chair. Sarah Beamer for UHPA. We stand on a written testimony.
Thank you. Anyone else here wishing to testify? On Zoom? Okay, I have written testimony from Robert Cavaco, Shopo in support, Julie Reyes Oda, individual with comments, and Jennifer Kramer, individual who opposes. Any questions, members? I do have a question.
Hi, Senator Moriwaki.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, you are? Oh, excuse me. Can you announce
Moriwaki. This is
yourself?
Julie. Hi,
Julie?
this is Julie Reyes
Oh,
Oda.
okay, Julie Reyes Oda. Please proceed.
Yes.
Can you?
Sorry, I called your office.
Go on and your sound on, please.
Sorry, my video.
Does it work?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can.
Hi, Senator Moriwaki. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Proceed.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Good afternoon, members of the Senate Labor Committee. My name is Julie Reyes Oda, teacher at Nanakuli High and Intermediate, former HSTA Leeward president, and former HSTA member. I'm a public sector worker, but I'm not a union member and do not pay dues. You could call someone like me a free rider. Free riders are defined as someone who doesn't pay or underpays, but continues to consume communal resources. I'm a free rider because HSTA expelled me for questioning if the union was fulfilling their fiduciary responsibilities to the membership. This bill is saying I will not have access to any grievance representation, and I will not be given a choice by law unless I give HSTA money, the same organization that kicked me out, with no accountability as to how or why they spend it. This does not sound like a law that should pass with the state of Hawaii. Unions were formed to correct the inequality in bargaining power between the employee and employer. What I have observed in my time with HSTA is an abuse of power, like nothing I've ever seen against unsuspecting dues-paying members. As long as public unions can pick and choose who they allow to participate in the union, it is unfair for employees to also allow their unions to deny representation. Right now, the HSTA bylaws state that the board of directors can review applications for membership and reject any applicant for good cause or expel members for violation of the bylaws. The board of directors are made up of less than 30 people. 30 out of over 13,000, most of whom did not face opposition in elections. Even the current president, vice president, and secretary treasurer ran unopposed. Less than 20% voted in the last elections, and even less pay attention to the actions of the union. This is not representative of working people, and safeguards need to be put in place to protect them against bad actors. This bill revolves around money. Let's call it what it is. Public unions should not have to expend any money on non-dues paying public sector workers because it costs them too much. But this is going in the direction of removing the exclusive representation status of unions in Hawaii. I support workers and organized labor, but if I had a choice, I would choose not to have a weak union like HSTA represent me in grievances, and I would rather put forth my own defense team or hire my own attorney. Today that's not allowed because of the exclusive status. Sorry so abrupt, but I wish I had more than 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. I think if you look at the bill, it does say that the proviso there is that the exclusive representatives shall not be required to provide grievance representation. So it's very focused on grievance representation, and if you had a grievance, that they would not represent you, but everything else would be part of the union representation of employees. So it's only if you don't pay for the grievance. So I don't know if any of the representatives here today can speak to that, that if a person had a grievance that you would represent. Upa?
Let me ask. I think in Justice Alito's opinion, he does allude to the possibility that you could do this in lieu of, the complete requirement of agency fees, which is what the Jonas case abolished. Said that you can still require perhaps the free riders to go ahead and pay for the grievance process. That's what this bill does, right?
Correct, and I believe it's footnote 7 of the Janus decision.
Six.
Sorry,
Six.
yes.
And I assume that you're talking, it has to be both, right? You have to be both a free rider. It has to be someone who hasn't joined the union and who refuses to pay the cost of the grievance process. And
yes, if they're paying dues, then this wouldn't apply.
Yeah, this is actual cost, all right? It's not, obviously you don't want to get back into the agency fee thing. This has to be the reasonable cost of the grievance. If it gets appealed and everything else, I think that the cost could get pretty big, I assume.
Yes, it can. You know, it can take several years sometimes to get determination. So we would assess, with the passage of this, a reasonable cost that would be applied.
You know offhand if following Janice, whether other than California, which had this already in their books, and the federal government had this also in their statutes, has this been challenged in any way?
Not to my knowledge.
Have you had any experience with, say, a non-member requiring your assistance or representation in a grievance case?
I'd have to ask. I'm fairly new to UPA, but off the top of my
I'm
head.
just interested in how much you do, what is reasonable in terms of representation of an employee.
We've been starting to track within UHPA and figure out how long some of these are actually taking, and trying to begin to assess what a reasonable cost might be that is associated with that. But we're still in the preliminary stages of.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to House Bills 1000 to 10,010, 1010, and 1012, all provide appropriations for collective bargaining cost items for the members of bargaining units and their excluded counterparts, including the cost of salary adjustments negotiated between the state and the bargaining unit representative for fiscal biennium 2023 to 2025. So I'm going to go through each of these, and it's just really each bargaining unit. So House Bill 1000, House Draft 1 is cost items for bargaining unit 1. In person, I see Louis, our Department of Budget and Finance Director, in support.
Chair, Vice Chair, Senator Louis Oliveri from Budget and Finance. We will stand on our written testimony in support of moving this admin vehicle forward.
Thank you. Kamakana, Loa, UPW.
Chair, Vice Chair, Senator, we will stand in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify? Questions? Moving along then. We have written in support from Colbert Young, from the University of Hawaii, Linda Rosen from Hawaii Health Systems Corporation in support. Okay, moving on to House Bill 1001, House Draft 1 for bargaining unit 2. So again, you can just you can sit there. And you can just do each one as we go through these many.
Sure, we will stand on our testimony in
Thank you.
support.
Thank you. Anyone else? Written in support from Colbert Young, University of Hawaii, Linda Rosen, HHSC, in support, Randy Pereira, in support. Thank you. HB 1002, House Draft 1, Bargain Unit 3, Louis.
Chair, we will stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you. Written from the UH in support, from HGAA in support. Thank you. And Linda Rosen, HHSC in support. House Bill 1003, House Draft 1, Bargain Unit 4.
Chair, we will stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you. Written, Colbert Young, UH, Linda Rosen, and Randy Pereira, HGA, all in support. House Bill 1004, House Draft 1, Bargain Unit 5, Mr. Salivera.
Chair, we will stand in our testimony in support.
And Laverne Moore. Thank you. House Bill 1005, House Draft 1, Bargain Unit 6, Mr. Salivera.
Chair, we will stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you. We have in-person testimony from HGEA in support. Thank you. House Bill 1006, House Draft 1 on Bargain Unit 7, Louis.
Chair, we will stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you. Christian Firm, UPA in support. And written testimony from the University of Hawaii in support. House Bill 1007, House Draft 1, Bargain Unit 8, Mr. Salveria.
Chair, we will once again stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you. Written testimony in support from the University of Hawaii and from HGEA. Thank you. House Bill 1008, House Draft 1, Bargaining Unit 9, Mr. Salaveria.
Good afternoon, Chair. Louis Oliveira from the Department of Budget and Finance. We will stand on our testimony in support.
Thank you for being here in person. It really adds to this, you know. I'm sorry. I missed Julie Oda. Oh, Julie Oda, are you still there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Do you want to speak on
Hold on a second.
1004? I'm sorry, we missed you because you had late testimony. My staff tells me you wanted to speak on this. House Bill.
Yes, I did. Sorry, I'm just.
Excuse me?
Yes, hold on. Hi, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, I understand you
Hi,
submitted
Senator Moriwaki.
testimony.
Yes, I did. Just trying to get me someplace I can get internet. Okay, you can hear me though. Sorry, my internet is really bad.
Yes, this is on Bargain Unit 5.
Okay, thank you. Hello again, House members of the Senate Labor Committee. My name is Julie Reyes, I'm a teacher at Nanakuli High and Intermediate. This bill is for the fiscal biennium 2023-2025 to appropriate money for cost items, including salary increases. The only negotiations update that I heard was a month ago when I asked about this placeholder bill. I asked if the drop dead date for HB 1004 to be passed was April 28th. All in attendance were told by our chief negotiator, Andrea Eshelman, that April 28th is an arbitrary deadline and
Are you complete with your testimony? Hello?
I think I got it.
Is that it?
Yep, no, that's not it. I think I got cut off a little bit, sorry. Considering that the bargaining period started on July 1st last year and we didn't actually start negotiating until the middle of December, we lost a lot of time. HSTA also declined the reopener during the pandemic, so we got nothing. HSTA declined Governor Ige's proposal last year, so we got nothing. We're the only public union negotiating, and we're the only one who got nothing in the last 2 years. I have never been on negotiations committee, and I assume that the biggest cost item is salary, just because the multiplier is over 13,000 people. I've also heard and read many comments about how teachers don't deserve raises because of closing schools. So let me make one comment about that. I teach math in the middle of Nanakuli Homestead. I've taught at many schools, with the one previous to Nanakuli was at the Kids Detention Center in Kapolei. Nanakuli kids have been the most respectful, family-loving kids I've ever had. During the pandemic, I had graph paper, textbooks, workbooks, calculators, rulers, and anything that they needed available for pickup at the front gate. I even put a calculator in a kid's mailbox who couldn't pick it up and dropped off papers to a kid in Helilua because he was always ahead of it. He was always ahead of the class and his dad was disabled. So if you had Algebra 2 trigger pre-calc with Mrs. Reyes, you were covered because that's what we do. I worked more than I did if I left the house because there were no boundaries. Yes, salary is important, but it isn't the only cost item to negotiate. Senator Moriwaki, the unit members need to know the hard truth on this, and can you please answer these two questions today? Will the legislature fund a contract signed after April 28th in this fiscal year? And if it's after April 28th, are we guaranteed that any retroactive cost items agreed to will be paid for in the next fiscal year? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to 1008, House Draft 1, cost items for bargaining unit 9. Mr. Salveria.
Chair, the department will stand on its testimony and support.
Thank you. We have written testimony and support from the University of Hawaii, from Hawaii Health Systems Corporation, and from HGEA in person. Thank you. House Bill 1009, House Draft 1 on bargaining unit 10. Mr. Salaveria.
Chair, the department will stand on its testimony and support.
Thank you. And we have Mr. Kaimuloa.
Chair,
Thank you. And we have written testimony and support from the University of Hawaii and HHSC. House Bill 1010, House Draft 1, Bargaining Unit 11. Mr. Salveria.
Chair, the department will stand in its testimony and support.
Thank you. We have HHSC in support, written support. HB 1012, which is the last one, cost for bargaining unit 14. Mr. Salaveria.
Chair, the department will stand on its testimony and support.
Thank you. And HGA.
Chair, in support. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, at this time,
Actually, I have
Oh,
a
yes,
question for Mrs. Oliveria. You know, these are all just vehicles in the event that you reach some kind of agreement, either on reopeners or on a new contract for particular bargaining units. You understand that if you don't reach an agreement by April 28th, you know, the session ends the following week. So in all likelihood, we wouldn't be able to act on it. What would be if you reach agreement after the session ends, that contract would be brought back next year?
That is correct. The contract would be brought back next year, and any agreement would be made would just have to be retroactively applied.
Okay, thank you.
so I'm going to proceed with decision-making unless you have questions. Questions? Okay. All right. So we are moving into decision-making. Let me note that any bill passing out will include the necessary technical non-substantive amendments. So for House Bill 38, House Draft 1 relating to non-general funds to reclassify the Human Resources Development Special Fund as a revolving fund pursuant to the auditor's recommendation. The chair's recommendation to pass as is, but to include in the committee report that the operating budget be adjusted to reflect the change from special fund to revolving fund, and also adjust the ceiling from B funds to W funds. Members, any questions, discussion? Okay, if not, chair votes aye. Vice Chair Lee?
Thank you. On HB 38, recommendation passed unamended with 3 members present, Senators Ihara and Favela excused. Are there reservations or no's? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And House Bill 161, House Draft 1, relating to collective bargaining, establishing that labor representative in the Hawaii Labor Relations Board be a person selected by a majority of the exclusive representatives. The chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. I will take HGA's recommendation to require the governor to nominate the labor representatives selected by a majority of the exclusive representatives, period. And so that we will delete that proviso of sending it down directly to the Senate. Members, discussion? Okay, chair votes aye. Vice Chair Lee?
Putting on HB 161, recommendation to pass with amendments, noting 3 members present. Senators Ihara and Favela excused. Are there any reservations or no's? If not, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. House Bill 413, House Draft 1, relating to Department of Human Resources Development, appropriating funds for the department to retain the service. To retain the services of an online. Did we do this one? Oh. Can we go back into session, into our hearing? I forgot to do this one bill. Yeah. So House Bill, we're going to hear House Bill 413. Excuse me, I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, House Bill 413, House Draft 1, relating to DHRD. It appropriates funds for the department to retain the services of an online employment marketplace or networking platform to assist in the recruiting of employees for the state. HRD Director, want to come forward? Are there any other, anyone else wishing to testify? So could you come forward, please? I do have some questions. So you're asking to go on with an online platform that you've never used before?
We currently use, so we're talking about essentially LinkedIn, which is an employment-based social media platform it's sort of the industry standard when it comes to professionals and where they network. And we'd like a subscription, an annual subscription, so that we can target recruitments to these specialized areas. For example, we could send targeted recruitment announcements to nurses or social workers or engineers or architects or program budget analysts, as Director Lewis.
So how much is this program that you're talking?
So there's a subscription fee annually, which is I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of around $50,000. And then we can also have the option to purchase a set number of what they refer to as slots. And then we can post jobs into those slots. And once we fill jobs, we can rotate out other jobs. So the state has about 4,000 vacancies, and we are recruiting about 400 plus at any given time. So we feel like this is an important tool to access talent that may not find us. We want to go after them.
So with this investment, though, you need to have a team, right? And so you had mentioned to me that you were going to use federal funds to do that. And if you can explain that program and how this might fit in, then we can see how much the state is willing to invest if you do have federal funds.
Right, so we have a project that we're working on to have 5 targeted recruiters, a supervisor, and 4 staff that would do more targeted outreach and recruitment based on, my thought is they would be assigned to a specific career group. For example, we would assign one individual to focus on law enforcement, looking for deputy sheriffs, adult corrections officers, investigators, all those jobs related to law enforcement. We might have another individual who is targeting healthcare and social services, and maybe another individual that would focus primarily on administrative jobs, program budget analysts, accountants, engineers, architects, and perhaps a 4th one to do blue collar type jobs, because we're going to find those individuals in different places.
So the request that you have for this online platform and cost for that can actually fold it into that program, and perhaps we can spend less money on this experiment.
We would like to contribute. We're willing to contribute some of those funds to this project, but we would like some state support as well, because we think it'll be an important tool moving forward. So if we had a budget item in our budget to support this, we feel like that's an appropriate.
So if it's 125 and we paid, say, 50,000, that would be a match to your federal funds. That could work out.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay, great. Thank you. Questions? Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to move back into decision making. Okay, let me see, where were we? Okay, so we are going to, the chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, and taking what the director just mentioned, that we will support the online employment marketplace platform as part of the federally funded program on recruitment, and that we will have a match for that funding for the platform. Is that okay? Great. So the committee report will reflect that we would ask for $50,000 as a match for that program. Okay, members, any discussion or questions? Okay, chair votes aye. Vice Chair Lee?
Thank you. Voting on HB 413, recommendation passed with amendments, noting all present with the exception of Senators Ihara and Favela, who are excused. Are there any reservations or no's? If not, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. House Bill 564, House Draft 1, relating to the Department of Human Resources Development, in establishing 2 full-time positions, and also upgrading their information technology systems, and purchase whatever equipment they need, and to train personnel. The chair's recommendation is to pass as is and effective upon approval. Any questions, members? Okay, chair votes aye. Vice Chair Lee? All right, we'll just pass as is with the effective date as is. Members, any discussion? Okay, the chair votes aye.
Voting on HB 564, recommendation to pass unamended with 3 members present. Are there any reservations or no's? If not, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, House Bill 1205, House Draft 1, relating to collective bargaining. Chair's recommendations to pass as is.
Okay, HB 1205, recommendation to pass as is. 3 members present. Are there any reservations or no's? If not, recommendation adopted.
House Bill 1000, House Draft 1. Can we? Yeah, okay. So I will recommend, Chair's recommendations to pass as is on House Bill 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, and 1012. Chair's recommendation to pass as is.
Okay, seeing no discussion, voting on all the aforementioned measures, noting 3 members present with the exception of Senators Ihara and Favela who are excused. Are there any reservations or no's? If not, Chair, all the recommendations are adopted.
Okay, thank you, everyone. This hearing is adjourned.